right. Ian, our brand new opener worked.
Beautiful.
Look at
I knew
that.
it would.
Oh, it's the power of OBS. Hello. What is up, YouTube? It is Tuesday, July 5th. You're here on Live Design Tuesdays, UX Tuesdays, I think is maybe what we're calling this thing now. Um,
Sure.
it's a design show. You're with myself, Nick Brunt, and my co-host Ian Conrad. We like to talk about UX design here in a live format with my really messy hair that I didn't think about. How you doing? You got a bun going on. You got a little tie up there.
I
I
just
got
tie my
nothing
hair up
going
and
on.
forget about it, Nick. It's very functional.
Set it and forget it.
I think it looks kind of cool.
Yeah. I
Set
think
it
it
and
looks
forget
kind
it.
of cool. I'm going to figure mine out for next week. Get a bulldog clip going in there or something. Yeah, so like I said, welcome to the Hi There show. Ian, how's your week going?
Well, it's going pretty good. It's busy. It's only Tuesday, which is wild.
It is
I'm
wild.
reading my LinkedIn, just catching up on my LinkedIn messages,
Oh, how's LinkedIn? How's the
which,
fruitful land of LinkedIn? Every internet
well,
professional's dream.
yeah. Well, my LinkedIn mailbox is a lot like my real mailbox. I'd never open it because every time
Mm.
I do, it's only full of flyers and ads, and that's kind of what this is,
Do you kind of feel that way about regular
including.
email too?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, I mean, is email gone
it's
yet?
there's nothing good there.
It's just like
If you
bad
want
news.
me,
It's like checking
if
your
you,
answering machine on your phone. It's like nothing good is on here.
oh yeah, and I don't even do that anymore. If you want to get in touch with me, you basically have to text me.
Hmm.
Once that gets full of spam, I will be unreachable.
If you can find your way to slacking me somehow, you're gonna get me right away. But it gets
Okay.
worse from there.
Yeah, I guess
I
if you
think.
can use my Microsoft Teams account through my work, you can also reach me there.
I wish I could. I wish you would just finally give me your credentials so I could log in and pretend I'm you sometimes. Because
That would be funny. We could share a
it'd be really
job
funny.
if we didn't need if I didn't need like money to pay my bills. We
Oh
could just
man.
imagine sharing. That would be share a job for a year and like make a documentary about it. And I don't know, you just
Share
kind of
jobs?
shoot it as it goes.
Share jobs, but also get other jobs. Like we have 4 jobs between the two of us, but we're two different people, and we're kind of bouncing back and forth. Someone would pay for that. Vice would be into that. Who's that?
I think,
Who's that? Medium.com. I hear they pay top dollar for content.
yeah, this just sell it to them. I think we could, if it would suck, but I think you could do it. You could pull it
Hmm.
off if you were committed.
Yeah, you know, you
Work
totally
two
could.
jobs.
Yeah.
You might not be very good. I don't know.
You.
Maybe you excel because you don't have time to like dwell on your like like decisions, and you're just like nope, like you don't have time to procrastinate.
Well,
So
that
it
might
turns
be.
out you do 2 jobs better than you can do 1 job.
I almost feel like there might be an advantage there. Because say you're banging your head on a problem, or you just need that other perspective, or a different skill set, different tool set, and then you have someone else come in. But I think the way it would work is some of the jobs, like you would have to be the meeting person, and then for the other jobs, I would have to be the meeting person, and you have to keep that going. But then maybe we could get into some sort of filter where it just fakes you.
Yeah, I should. I'm making an assumption that that anyone that's we're working for doesn't know what's going on, right? That's what makes it funny.
Yeah, no, they don't, but we're creating sort of an elaborate setup so that we can make a ton of money working multiple tech jobs.
Yeah, we would get a lot of money, and then we sell the thing afterwards, and then make the money from that.
Oh, do you know what would make that so good? We should have 4 different design jobs. So you got front end web person, you've got like a research analyst kind of UX job. You could have somebody with an engineering background. I don't know, just make it up.
We could outsource a lot of it too.
Yeah,
Like we could outsource half of the work and pay only 25% of the salary to a junior person. Damn, I sound like a horrible capitalist, but that would work.
well, we're almost kind
And
of
we would still get
just
money
starting a
without having to
company
do as
here.
much work. I mean, we're basically creating an agency at this point.
I was
We're
gonna
going to
say,
hire, we're going to pay people we're going to do work and then pay people some of that, but keep some of it for ourselves. Like we're not going to give everyone the fruits of their labor. We're going to we're gonna take part of it for really not doing very much. I guess we, yeah.
In the
So yeah,
lies,
we
all the
mentioned it.
lying. We're planning on doing a lot of lying. It's sort of like a lying setup.
I mean,
But
we're
you
gonna
could
make
there's an
everyone
angle
happy.
there. You know, it's
We
like we're
we.
gaming the system, we're gaming the remote work thing, you know, to its highest potential.
Hmm. I mean, don't hate the player, hate the game, right?
Hmm.
We're supposed to. Everyone's supposed to be getting as much money as they can by producing as little as possible. That's kind of the that's like the game. That's the game, right? That's the objective.
You could even track like value across the jobs, like which jobs were we producing the most value. So like, I don't know, you could pick a measurement like material generated or some sort of
Yeah, we'd have to set up
metric.
different metrics. Yeah, we'd have to create a bunch of metrics for it. You know, there's a lot of work that would
Organizational
go into
impact.
faking. There a lot of work would have to go into like faking working two jobs, multiple jobs.
I mean, you do have to work them. Eventually, like somebody is like, "Hey, it's the day that you said you would be done the work. Like, is it done?" And you're gonna be like, "Mostly." We feel like we
Almost.
need to have some more follow up conversations. You can make up a bunch of stuff. We
You could
pushed
do
it
it
as
if
far as we thought was necessary at the moment before we had some conversations that we feel like needed to be had.
they're like,
A
"Oh, that sounds really
boom.
smart. I don't even really understand what you said, but I'm too insecure to admit that. So,
Hmm.
okay,
They go,
talk to you tomorrow."
just speak
Mhm.
design language. Just go
Yeah,
on and
well,
on
we
and
we
on in
do
design language.
we you're right. We do want it to be customer centric.
More
You know,
customer centric. We want the customers to forge their own pathway, you know, in a product like this. So we need to take an extra step back, an extra 3-4 weeks, question what we're doing, write it
yeah,
down, rip it up, burn that piece of paper, and then question it again. So let's schedule some more discovery interviews. We're going to get our invoice out. Thank you for paying that timely.
yeah.
Um,
And
and then,
without this research, we're going to be moving forward. Um, I would say, a little bit not fully blind, but
mm,
we haven't shed the light on everything we really need to yet. So I
oh,
know
I've
it
got it.
sounds like I know it sounds like a delay, but really this will come if we don't do it now, it will come up in the future when we're even less prepared for it. And we'll have to shift
Yep.
gears
Mm-hmm.
back into discovery. And it actually, and this is true, it happens all the time. It takes that's going to take more time. So
Actually,
um,
everything we said is true in the right circumstance, kinda. But here's the golden nugget. Here's what we really got to do. We need to seek alignment. Look,
yeah, do
I think that we need to develop consensus amongst the project team. We need to seek alignment. That rings those alarm bells that says, hey, we need more time and money. We need more of your time and money.
more time. Yeah. I,
Uh,
I mean, that's just one. I mean, we just came up with that on the spot right now. So
that was pretty good. Vice, get at us. TV, you know, moguls, get at us. That could be that could actually be a really cool reality show. Like a
CBC,
Nathan for you, kind
we're
of.
Canadian.
Yeah, get at us. Canadian Broadcasting Corp.
I think we could be funnier than Corner Gas.
I think we're being funnier than Corner Gas right now. I think I could full on have like a small aneurysm. Not where I die, but like a little one where I'm really messed up live on stream and you have to call an ambulance to save me and it's still a tiny bit funnier than Corner Gas. I'm so sorry, Brent Butt. You're a Canadian treasure, but come on, man.
Equally. Brent Butt's funny. Yeah. It's just, I'm not trying to take shots at, I didn't wake up this morning thinking I can't wait to lob a couple shots at Corner Gas today, but here we are.
You're going to need a name that competes with Brent Butt. You could be like Richard Ass.
Is that his real name, Brent Butt? That's a stage name.
Probably.
It's I would put money on that. And
in real life, it's spelled with an E. It's like Butte. Benedict Butte. Okay, so yeah, this is a show.
So
this is a
yeah,
design show. So we should
shout us out in
actually
the
design a thing at some point.
Yeah, just so if you do have if you think you have a cooler name for me than Ian Conrad,
Yeah, hit us up in the
then
comments.
hit us up in the chat comments. Yeah, I just want to. Uh, a little bit of a rebrand isn't out of the question, actually.
So
So
okay,
I'd do it. I would change my name for profit,
I'm into it. Get at
for
us.
personal gain.
Better name for Ian. Get at us on Twitter. We should toss the stuff out because we're really bad at doing this. If you have any suggestions or you want to reach out to us, check out the Hi There Show at gmail.com. That's the Hi There Show at gmail.com. Like and subscribe and write our name into a firework and shoot it into the sunset. And those are the details if you need to get at us. But yeah, we're back. We're here. Ian, what are we doing? What are we even doing? What are we designing tonight on our design show?
Well, we're trying to design an app that will destroy Twitter.
That's
right.
This idea came about very holistically because you had the thought.
So
I'll jump over to Figma here. Let me test this transition.
Yeah, what the heck does that mean? What's wrong with Twitter, Nick? People open Twitter and suddenly you're bombarded with a wall of horror. And I think in my case, and I think in a lot of people's experiences.
I would say this idea came up before the events of the last several weeks to several years.
Yes, but yeah, it's not just about ignoring.
Ever. But yeah, I mean, I have the same experience. You and I have talked a lot lately. Like, we're web people. We've been using social media since the inception. And I just can't do it anymore. I literally turn it on and it bums me out. And everybody says that. It's the doom scrolling thing. But doom scrolling has hit the top of the bell curve where I'm actually just physically ill now.
I think so. I just don't think it's healthy. And, it's not about ignoring current events. Like you said, stuff going on, that information still finds its way.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just, I think the constant barrage of things and then people's takes on it, isn't healthy, I think. And a lot of, the algorithm tends to surface weird things. And yeah, a lot of negativity is floating around. And, people are using Twitter to kind of vent and complain a lot, like we've noticed. And, maybe there's something to that side of things.
I feel
as a way to kind of escape, but not get sucked into everyone else.
The endless void, the endless screaming,
the void,
black void, do you remember that scene in Ghost where they finally came for Patrick Swayze and they were like shadow people reaching out of the ground and they're like, "Come with us." It's like that. It's a lot of what I get out of it.
You're supposed to I think to make the best use out of the void, you're supposed to yell into it. But if you get too close, it's like a black hole and it just sucks you in.
Which I've been saying for years. They're like, if you look into the void is going to look back at you. So usually I just cover my eyes. And that's my Twitter strategy. Just say things and don't ever read anything. That's not true. But it was you. When I'm having a bad moment, I want to tweet about it and feel seen. As the user, I don't want to feel bad when I use Twitter. When I'm using Twitter, I don't want to see anything that anyone else said. That was your idea. That's what you came up with. You were like, well, yeah, but what if the part about Twitter, like as a UX experiment, like for the user experience of users, what is the part of this app that makes you feel bad? And it's like the other things that people say.
Yeah, it's the feed of tweets itself. Yeah, Twitter's cool except for all the content.
Yeah, for the other things that people say. I like to scream into the void. It's when the void screams back at me that I'm like, ugh.
Yeah, out. The Dementors from Harry Potter.
Yeah, the Dementors from Harry Potter. Have you watched those movies? Like, for real?
Yeah. Yeah, I have, actually.
I think I have, but it's always like over Christmas time. And I'm like, I'm having a mimosa.
It wasn't like, that's what I'm doing today. It was,
finally.
It's something initiated by others, but they're pretty good.
They're okay.
I
don't know. No, but J.K. Rowling's like an awful anti-trans witch woman, and I'm way out for that.
Yeah.
See that Bette Midler tweet today? Dude, okay, so case in point, we're talking about how the things that people say on Twitter are profoundly distressing, and the anti-trans crowd is definitely one of those. So, not to push it too quick, but so we took that idea and we went to an AI. So we went to OpenAI's APL for GPT-3, and which is a fairly
Needs a bit of help.
You can think of it as like a really intelligent chatbot that goes out and looks for answers. So we literally asked it last week, how do I destroy Twitter? And you can read its response on screen. It literally printed out a list of how to destroy Twitter by hacking Twitter's servers. Ian knows how to do that. Ian actually is Anon. When you're reading about Anonymous, about the guy Fox masks and stuff, that was Ian the whole time. So we're going to look at that at some point.
Big reveal today, folks.
Big reveal, hacker reveal.
Yeah, it's gonna be breaking news soon.
Just kidding, we're designing.
So that's an option, but I think if we'd hacked Twitter and just like they would, I feel like it would just come back to life. You know what I mean? If there's demand, like.
Okay, so
that's
like,
an interesting one.
Like those big sort of earthworms, you know, in the Amazon, or like, you know, the knotweed plants that even if you hack them to bits, they'll just regenerate and come back somehow.
Yeah, or like that Japanese knotweed
that
just no matter what you do, it still grows back.
Yep.
It's like Hydra.
So you'd have to go to the Twitter building and actually burn it down. That's in Fight Club stuff. I mean, we could talk about that as a user exercise. I wouldn't say it's the most comfortable path for users to rise up.
That's more. I agree with you that's way more like a Fight Club approach is way more realistic way to handle it if we were trying to actually physically like take action in that way. I feel like that falls really far outside of my skill set.
I can't. I'm mostly afraid of like, you know, life and people and things, and I don't want to do that.
Yeah, and I guess I don't want to commit a violent crime.
No, probably not. No, I don't want to.
Someone would get hurt because, like I said, I'm not skilled at it. Mm-hmm. If I tried to blow a building up, I'm sure a lot of people would accidentally get hurt.
So there is a path. So our not Twitter organization, our startup that we're forming here, you could say that there's an organizational path for like gang violence to destroy our competitors. That would be a fun thing to put in a brief. Point 2, convincing everyone to stop using Twitter. That's easy. That's just doing it by itself.
And I mean, I think we're right on. We're in the right time here because a lot of people are talking about quitting Twitter, social media detox. When Elon Musk was talking about buying it, people were like, "Oh, I never liked this site anyway." So, I think that the time is right to be able to do that if we have a solution to give. Like, I think if we can lead them somewhere else, you know, to.
Interesting. Yeah. Like at the end of MySpace, when every social network,
Facebook just sort of
yes,
okay, yeah, like that. We that's how we have to do. We have to cut off its life source, which is its users. We can't hack it and burn it down. We need to starve it.
So there's sort of have you heard the Roko's basilisk thought exercise?
If it's the thing that you told me about before, I really want to hear about it again.
You've probably seen it on a friend of the site, Kyle Hill's channel. It's pretty good. It's basically that like the end game of any AI would be for you to work for it.
Okay.
So it's like the AI's suggestion for ending Twitter is for convince everyone to stop using Twitter and work for me to make me better to eliminate Twitter.
Is that the thing where it's like everyone who doesn't help the AI will be like killed by it or something? So then everyone just like helps the AI or something?
So the actual thought experiment is that it's a thought experiment that could be so distressing that it could actually cause you harm. And it was that there is an AI that is capable of torturing you forever. There is a hypothetical AI in the future that is capable of torturing you forever. Shit, I'm already halfway through paraphrasing it. Let's see how it goes. It can torture you forever, and the only way to stop that from happening is to help it to be one of the people that helps it come to existence.
Right.
In considering the idea that AI in the future is inevitable, that the best thing that you could do to avoid being tortured forever would be to stop what you're doing and help the AI come to fruition. Because that
If you can't beat him,
it may like help you in the future.
it's kind of like a prisoner's dilemma where it's like if everyone could agree, let's the whole world agree to not build any AIs, you'd be okay. But because you know other people are going to be like, fuck that, we're building the AIs,
Then
you have to do it too. It's kind of like, I mean, this is probably not really how it works, but like, because like someone has nukes, like we got to have nukes too.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, it'd be nice if no one had nukes, but it's like, if someone else has nukes, I guess I kind of want some. Probably not the right way to think about it, but yeah, that's crazy.
That is crazy. I'm upset.
So yeah,
I'm in distress. I thought about that, and now that I know it and you know it too, you'll never be able to not think about it. That's the premise, is that once you've heard that argument, that you can't ever really forget it because it is in some small part feasible.
Yep. Just like yeah, man. Thanks, Nick.
Yeah, good. Lie in bed and think about
Existential. I leveled up my existential dread tonight. What else? So what else can we do? What else can we do to destroy Twitter?
Spamming Twitter with so much content that it becomes unusable. Again, already happening. Elon brought up. I don't know. It's Elon Musk. Calling him by his first name sounds like I'm a fucking fan. Elon Musk brought up that a great number of users on Twitter might be spam bots. That's not untrue. That's not a lie. I don't know what the exact number is, but the amount of spam and the intelligence of spam, and by spam I mean bots or intelligent counter actors like real people.
Yeah.
That's a huge problem. We've all seen it.
It is, yeah, and like misinformation, spamming, and like pumping up like false stuff to get people angry is absolutely like a huge problem. And it doesn't take much to like pump up these tweets, like pump up posts and tweets and stuff to get them into the algorithm more. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think this Twitter is unusable already. This is basically like just the problem that we're outlining. Twitter is already becoming unusable because of spam and just like crappy content. But yeah, a lot of spam. And that's the thing too, that I think that's a good point about the bots and all the stuff that's on there to like try and intentionally agitate people politically and like pit people against each other. Like that's very, some people say there's conspiracies of other countries doing it. I don't know, but we know that for sure that's happening. It's people are getting pumped up, right?
It's definitely happened, and yeah, I'm sure it's on all sides of every discussion. That
it's a pretty good and cheap way to like harm an enemy country. Like if that's how you want to think about, if that's how what countries think about, just trying to mess with someone to like screw them up and so that you can, slow them down, like slow down their economic progress.
I would be willing to say
cost them.
Every government on the planet is. Hold on, this is not a conspiracy or political cast, but I would imagine that if you're capable of like diddling with other countries via computer, then every country in the world is going to be on their fun computers, like making awful tweets show up. Like,
I mean, isn't it kind of known that all countries sort of do spy on each other? Like we have, everyone's got a spy agency. Canada has one.
It's probably not a good one.
No,
like,
it's like the
I don't
corner
want
gas.
to be up in their business, We'll go look.
It's the corner gas version of it's corner gas NSA. It's like a dollar store NSA. It's like if CBC ran the NSA or something. I don't know, but I'm not trying to criticize the CBC. I like it.
No, I like the CBC. I don't like CSIS or the RCMP. Fuck them.
Yes, definitely.
Boo.
Official channel
of digital.
Official channel opinion.
We got opinions here, people. You're like Tim Dillon, Ian. You're kind of the little Tim Dillon over here. With your brash opinions. Okay, so this is a fun exercise
Respect.
last week.
All right, the last one, exposing Twitter's hidden secrets and flaws to the public. I think that's kind of going along with the last point there is like it's kind of already happening.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of people are seeing Twitter's flaws, which are just kind of, supposed to be a nice way to connect people and give everyone a voice, which, it does sometimes maybe, but
hidden secrets.
It's just
what do you think they have for hidden secrets? I mean, other than like what the weight of their algorithm is, which is probably really bad. Oh, did we drop? Are you there?
Yeah, I just got my cat meowing at me.
Oh, great.
Hey, buddy.
Hi, Winston.
If you can't meow over there. You have to get on TV.
Get on TV there, young bud. So pulling back out. That was a long intro, but it's actually fun to go back through it. So we came up with new Twitter. And on new Twitter, you say something very similar, very sort of user recognizable, user centric design, focused on making you feel good about saying something. We present the user with some simple AI. We ask of the user to say something. So you can type your thoughts in and hit tweet. And now here's the genius. That's it. Okay, well, so far, this is what we're here to talk about tonight. I think we'll talk about both sides of this UI, definitely.
That's half of it, at least, and that's still quite a bit.
But you say something, and instead of it going out into the world, maybe it does, but in this iteration, it says thank you. That was definitely a thing you said. Like, thank you for saying that. We're really affirming to the user that, like, what they did, their action that they took had some impact. And we had OpenAI compose a short poem about being thankful to a user for completing a service, and we popped that in there as well because we've written a short poem about how thankful we are. That means a lot to me, and I would hope the users. So that's where we are.
Yeah,
this is where we're at.
Gratitude
on this Tuesday night.
Yeah. So to recap, you tweet and it doesn't go to a public feed. Maybe it goes nowhere. Maybe it goes into a database and gets printed on a piece of paper and burned in a fire. Maybe it goes to some other random person and then they can I don't know your pain. Reply. What is this?
Yeah, okay. So, well, and I think that's what we're here to talk about, because for me, this solves the problem of I have to read other people's tweets. And it takes a step towards solving the issue of I want to yell into the void, and I want to
I still need to do the thing. That the feeling heard is a challenge. Yeah, like is that I think that's a thing to discuss. Is that an important part of the experience? Is that therapeutic to people?
It is. Like it's the being seen part that matters the most, is it not? Like,
yeah, people want to be seen.
This is all very broad generalizations based on what we know, but is saying something and having somebody like it worth more to you personally than reading something that someone else said that you think is interesting? So what's a more valuable interaction, being heard or hearing? I would say being heard, because getting likes fucks up your brain. It makes you feel really good and pumps dopamine.
Yeah, I think that probably is the goal. Yeah, it releases dopamine. I think it probably actually does, right?
It sort of reassures whatever shitty opinion you have, because you're like, oh, see, everyone else gets it.
I'm right.
I'm right. There's others like me.
So how do we create that kind of feeling without the obvious showing it to other people and allowing it to be seen and then receive those kind of likes.
I mean, is showing other people like avoidable? Like, to be seen and heard, you need like another human that you for sure know is another person that read what you said and considered it.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
How do
like,
we?
if you wrote a tweet to a friend and the way that they responded told you that they didn't read your very long tweet that you wrote, you know, that's not going to help, Ian.
Yeah, that's just like tweeting into the void and not getting any likes or replies. It's like, did anyone even see this tweet?
I mean,
is it a thing where it's like you get connected with one random person and it's anonymous and it's just you've been seen, and maybe you have to, like, if you want to tweet, then you have to read other. It's like a 1-for-1, like you not like points, but like you've got to. I don't know how you prove that you've read it or considered it. Maybe you have to stare at it for like 15 seconds. Getting a little bit ahead of that, but yeah,
no,
man,
hold on.
You know,
that's
once you've done
really
that, then you get that makes it so that it's it would be like a 1-to-1 type thing.
Is it a 1-to-1, or again, when we're talking about the emotional weight of an interaction, do you have to maybe read 5 and then you're allowed to write 1? Like,
well,
you save up some social credit.
Well, then what do we do with the excess credit? I mean, the problem is we're trying to not have people read tweets.
Okay.
So
okay,
I guess
we're forcing. That's a no-go. That's a no-go right from the. It's a very clever idea.
So,
but I don't want to read tweets because it makes me feel bad.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. In that case, it would be tough because you might need to like release something, but you might not have the capacity to like take something in. I don't know. So it complicates it a little bit. It's interesting though.
I had this idea about, it's like a webcam, right? And you type your tweet in, and when you type your tweet in, I sound like my dad, who tweets more than me. When you
put it on the videotape,
when you enter your message and hit submit, you see a webcam of a daisy wheel printer, like, printing your thought out. And when we had originally talked about it, the printer was at the top of the building and equipped with a small, like, clipping knife, like you would get on a plotting printer. And so it prints the device and then zips it, and then your piece of paper floats into the
away.
It just goes, but you don't know where it goes, but you're just looking at a webcam, and you like type your tweet in, and this printer like prints it out in front of you, and it just drifts off into someone's gonna get it.
That's kind of fun.
Raises some like pollution issues. Also, again,
it causes another. It solves one problem by creating another. Typical, classic human behavior.
Totally. We're also forcing people to read tweets again. That's like an inalienable truth about this whole thing. Hold on, I'm gonna cough, so I'm gonna test my cough button, live stream audience.
Oh, I just tested my sneeze button successfully.
I don't know if any of our rabid listeners can hear this, but I have a bit of a chest infection, so I sound extra cool and
chest
hot.
Infection.
Extra cool and creepy. I'm the creepy.
Yeah, you're out there getting like
YouTube designer.
You're getting these. You're not getting the mainstream COVID infections, dude. You're such a hipster, getting like indie infections. Like, I just got some no name. I got a chest infection. You've probably never heard of it.
Oh, bro, I got H1N1. That shit is from like 2008.
Oh, that's
2008, 2009. I got swine flu, baby.
Dude, that's classic.
It was fucking expensive. I'll tell you that.
Bringing it back. Nice. Swine flu. That was cool. Yeah.
Swine flu
Not
was
really
definitely cool.
scary. I don't remember being scared of that. I didn't get my vaccine for that because it was too inconvenient.
I don't think it was that I don't know. I was like a teenager. I was like, I don't care. I don't die. I don't die or get hurt. I'm
Yeah, I'll
fine.
just heal. Well, I'll be sick for a day.
How did we get there?
I was going to try and think of that, hoping you could. How did
Fill
we
that
get
in.
there? I really want to know.
I don't know. We're getting better for the diatribes, but okay. So we had a couple ideas. Um, Printing the tweets out that you write and sending them into the city is really cool as a user experience. It's very like tactile. You can see it. Maybe you hit the print button
Interesting. Hmm.
somehow. But we're introducing pollution, and again, it's that issue of somebody has to read the stupid thought that you had, and it's going to make them uncomfortable, and we want to avoid that. What if we what if we paid trained individuals who were professionally capable of being
Hmm.
able to read tweets and not feel bad about them?
I think there's something there. They're a professional worrier, a
A, a
professional.
professional worrier.
Yeah, they'll worry about it for you.
They worry about the tweet for you. They worry about your terrible thoughts and bad opinions and just
Yep.
awful thoughts.
You don't. Yeah, forget about it. Someone else's. It's now somebody else's problem officially.
How do we support that? Like, I feel like there's a lot of
Financially.
training. You got to support them financially, but like all the money in the world's not going to fix the poor people who moderate content at Facebook because they are
No,
broken.
well, then that's the thing.
They are broken people that never
Yeah,
received
those
support.
people,
Facebook, piece of shit.
they're the new frontline soldiers. They're just done. They're disposable,
They're
except
cooked,
they won't
dude.
have like veteran status.
Yeah,
Not
I'm
that
like,
that
we
seems.
can't do that. I feel like we need more like they're
We're
wearing a
just
hard hat. They're in a sterile room. There's psychological coaches ready to talk to them.
we're sacrificing some people. We're sacrificing few for the many, and I still don't think that's, yeah, aligns
Interesting.
with our values.
Well, perhaps blind to their values, but a strong enough conviction and moral compass to read the tweets without.
Maybe it's not a full-time job. Maybe you can, yeah, you
Well, no, there's a
volunteer, read a
full team
couple
of
tweets.
professional. There's nutritionalists. Oh my god, I just pulled my headphone out of my ear. There's nutritionalists. You've got a heart
Okay,
doctor. You've got an anesthetist there in case they need
we've
to
got
be
like
put under
this
for
is like
any
an
kind of reason.
Olympics. This is like an Olympic athlete level of support.
Yeah,
Like, you got to
totally.
keep these people going, like they're gold medalists.
Have you ever seen that movie Moon with Sam Rockwell, where he's like stranded on the moon and they have like millions of clones of
Yeah.
him, and he's not sure what's going on, and he's there to work for the moon? I think we need like a moon, but it's people to handle the thoughts that are coming from Twitter.
Does it have to be humans?
Oh, so you're
I
talking?
mean,
Okay,
is it
so
count as being heard if it's
wait,
not a human?
but wait. So what if your entire Twitter feed was just written by bots? We just give into the bots thing, but your entire Twitter feed is written by bots specifically to say things that you like and think are appropriate.
I like that. Maybe some affirming messages too. Like, don't forget to go for a walk today.
Hey, was thinking about that.
Uh,
I was thinking about that at Ian Conrad guy today. I hope he has a walk. He's doing so good.
yeah,
Yeah. Okay. But if okay, this is very dystopian.
I should be
If
writing this down.
if enough bots and enough AI were to infiltrate Twitter, is that not already what's happening right now?
Yeah.
So say you followed exclusively bots, hypothetically. That's the content that
Yeah.
you're getting is written for you based on an algorithm of things that it thinks you care about. Which
Yeah,
is
why would ours be any better? I guess because we're not trying to make profit.
um
That probably make a big difference. But yeah, we are kind of getting back to the same issue though. realistically, where we're not supposed to be reading social media,
We're
even if
not
it is a
supposed to be
curated thing
reading
for
social
us.
media, but the user needs to speak. You send a tweet and somebody calls you and reads it back to you so that you can hear what you said in someone else's voice and think, fuck, I can't believe I just said that to the public.
Oh, that does sound a bit silly when you say it like that.
Oof. Ugh, that is stupid. And it's always somebody who is like opposite nationality, not opposite, but like they're a different person than you. Like if you're a younger man, you get an older person. You know, if you're an older person, you get a younger person, just to hear the weirder perspective. I don't know. Okay, that takes us up to about break.
Oh,
Yeah, no, right? We
wow.
cruised through that first half.
That's a lot of solid discussion.
That's a lot of
Nick,
solid
we're getting
discussion.
somewhere.
Let's come back and we'll start to talk about implementation. I know we had some other weird stuff to talk about. So I will say at this midpoint, if you have any questions, comments, reach out to us. Hit us in the comments. Ian's looking for someone to legally change his name, so feel free to do that. He will do it on Stream Live. We'll fill out all the paperwork. It'll be really cool. But yeah, get blah blah. Get at us with your comments and suggestions. You can hit us at thehitherShow@gmail.com. That's thehitherShow@gmail.com. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I don't know. Does anyone want to
come back? Yes, stay tuned. We've got a fun surprise coming up after the break.
Do we really? No.
Yeah.
Okay, that's really cool. We'll be right back.
The battle of wizards and warriors continues with iron swords. The evil wizard Malkill will take the shape of the earth, wind, water, and fire. Farewell! The fate of the world is in your hands!
Hey, look at that. We're back. We're back from break, Ian.
Cool. That was easy.
Oh, it was totally
Well, actually, it wasn't. We've been trying to get back for a while.
We're trying to
a
figure
real
stuff
struggle.
out.
How do we?
I told Ian we could do a thing, and then I didn't get anything set up on the stream software-wise to do that. So
I know we make this look easy by our professionalism and grace, but it's a lot of work to produce video.
No,
audio
it's. I mean,
at the same time.
Our candor is largely graceful was really good. I want to say delicate and wonderful. But yeah, the cruelty the cruelty of YouTube is that you have to work with OBS. So we're here though. It works. Are we streaming? Let me check. We are. So, right before the break, we've been talking about our Twitter that's not Twitter. Let me throw back to Figma. We've been talking about our Twitter that's not Twitter. So, reading tweets. You've been listening to the whole episode, obviously, but if you're just tuning in,
You better have been.
You better have been. Reading tweets is distressful, but tweeting things is kind of fun. So we asked an artificial intelligence how to do that. It gave us a bunch of really hilarious answers that we reviewed. And then we came up with new Twitter. And so for our new Twitter, you say something, you submit your tweet, and you get this cool thank you note. Now we're back here to talk about how do we make users feel like their tweet had an impact without anybody else in the whole world having to read it. Or any other users, I should say. And you had brought up the idea of paying someone to worry for you, which I love.
Yeah, if you're worried, you can just outsource that. You know? You're basically, it's the same idea. You're typing your worry into your thing and off it goes. And it's like, you know what? This is in the hands of a professional now. It is actively being worried about at this moment. You do not need to worry anymore. Go do what you were going to do.
So I feel like, that's hilarious. I feel like for us, that boils down to you're paying a person to read your tweet and care about it.
Yeah.
But without actually doing it. So we need to make this work, we need to employ people. Well, hold on.
That is true.
That's maybe too far. that's maybe too far. Let's talk about the interaction. You say something. This person that you've paid to worry about it has read your tweet. What do you actually get for feedback as a user? Maybe a picture of the person as they were reading it?
Yeah, I mean, there's a big trust factor around this, that someone's actually worrying for you and it's not, nothing's happening, and we're not just taking your money.
Yeah.
But I also think like the interaction afterwards should be pretty quick. The point is to not stay around and dwell.
Okay.
You know, it's to get, I think it's to like maybe part of this is like when you're typing your idea, your thought, you're actually like, you're kind of sitting, you're recognizing it and acknowledging it for a second, but then you got to let it go. Like if it's a negative thought, that's kind of what you're supposed to do, right? If you have a bad thought or feeling, you're supposed to like, you don't want to push it away. You want to acknowledge it, think about it for a second, but ultimately, move past it. So I think that we have to, how do we help people move past whatever's worrying them? And part of it's the reassurance. And how do we do that? And is there a nice message? Some kind of cool, like calming graphic or animation? Is it like a helpful tip, a life tip?
So here's what I want.
But yeah, I think it's in and out, I guess, is where I'm going with that. Seems to make sense. Help people move away from their bad thought.
So I agree with everything that you're saying. I wonder if I can open a browser without it coming up on stream. I can. I want a photo of the person who read my tweet. So I'm going to very quickly. Okay, I found it.
Kind of like Uber.
I found the image I want.
Uber Eats, it shows you who's delivering your food. Oh, is there anything we need to ask we haven't asked the AI's been a little bit quiet. Is there anything we need to ask? Ask it how we help people. Ask the AI how we help people like move past like their problems or something.
Okay.
Like that.
I've got the AI up on the feed with how do I destroy Twitter. There's no surefire way to destroy Twitter. There's no one size fits all. Okay, let's try a new one. This is OpenAI's playground. Okay, what was your question again?
What are we trying to do here?
People feel heard without. How do we help people feel heard?
So let's start with that. Let's make it simple, and then we'll ask how we help them forget about their worries and forget all their cares. Maybe they have to go downtown.
How do we help people feel heard? Let's start at the basics here. We can help people feel heard by giving them our undivided attention, by letting them know that we are interested in hearing what they have to say, and by actively listening to what they are saying. Okay, that's pretty straightforward.
Okay. Okay. Save that. That's important. I
feel like we'll label this under the how. So, I mean, our solution is working to
undivided
that end.
Attention. Yeah, so we are giving them the undivided attention. Like this person, for however long, it's not going to be long, but they do have their undivided attention. So that's good. I think we are doing that. Is there a way we can show it? Like, how do we let them know? I mean, we can't have this person type a response, right? Like, this isn't therapy.
No, it's not about responding. It's not about getting, like, you just need to feel heard. It's not about getting, like, you know,
You also don't want a generic response, right? Like you wouldn't want to. Would that help? You want a thing back that says like that sucks. Like if our warriors had some kind of response, canned response button that's just like you'll do better or you'll do fine or
okay. Because again, these are highly trained people.
because if you said I'm worried about this big work presentation I have, then they could be like, okay, worried about a work presentation. That's maybe our AI behind the scenes suggests like relevant answers to send back. Like it could pull out like, oh, you're worried about a work presentation, and so it could be like, oh, you'll do fine, and it's like, or like, don't worry, like you're very respected among your call. I don't know. That
yeah,
might
like
not be
some
true.
canned responses. It's almost important for the user to know that it is just sort of a generic response. So
yeah,
like, your respondent is Michael G.
Yeah, we don't want it to make it worse by sending like like a generic response.
Your reader?
That sounds we don't want it to sound like an autoresponder. You know what I mean? Like well, we've received your important message and we'll get back to you. Your call is important to us. We don't want that.
No. Okay. I was thinking for a second, but what if we do want that? But no.
Or maybe we do. But not with a human. That's a different. The bot. Actively listening. What else can we
actively
ask?
Listening is like, I heard you and I'm responding to what you say. You're not just going like
where it's like, and you're like nodding and it's like, oh, okay, that is crazy that happened to you. I think that's what active listening is. Listening 2.0 now with more activity. What else do we want to I like to ask the AI another question.
Okay. Let me fire it up. Okay. Wait, hold on. I'm firing.
I'm trying to think of it.
You gotta like pull a rip cord and give it a minute, and it's gotta boot.
Okay, good. I'm trying to word it. It's like, how do we help people forget about their worries?
Okay.
So see what happens. If it's the dumb answer, we'll ask it again.
How can I help people forget about their worries?
I mean, forget about's probably the wrong thing. It's probably like, resolve their worries, but whatever. It's just a bot.
It's pretty long. There's no surefire answer to this question, which bots say a lot, as different people have different coping mechanisms, and what works for one person may not work for another. Some general tips may include encouraging people to take breaks from their stressors, helping them articulate their. This is all boring. I was thinking more like a chemical solution, like turn them into batteries. Additionally, it is often helpful to provide positive reinforcement and praise for their efforts in managing success. Additionally, it is often helpful to provide positive reinforcement.
Positive reinforcement. I'm a fan of that.
Yeah, no, this is good. So this sort of tells us you should maybe always get back some sort of positive reinforcement. We're going to need like a swear sort of filter on this thing, because people are going to say, because it is Twitter, people are going to say like violent, awful things. And we kind of can't reassure them about that.
Yeah, that's fair. If people are paying though, maybe they won't.
Oh, right, they're paying.
So that does affect it. That's a big choice because it affects a lot of stuff. Because you're right, filtering would be necessary in a way, but would people pay like 99 cents to troll somebody? Probably not.
It does. It raises
some
lot
people
of UI
still
questions,
would.
actually, because one, you need an account and a payment method, but now you're paying in like Twitter credits, tweet creds.
Well, now do you feel entitled to be a dick because you paid money for it?
Yes, 100%. If I have an understanding of the service that I'm getting and I'm paying for it, then yeah, like probably.
I think we're probably more concerned about like the moral ramifications of this app than like anyone ever talked about via Twitter when they were inventing it. We're not supposed to worry about if this is going to do anything bad. We're just supposed to make it happen and disrupt the world.
Well, I mean,
Just disrupt Twitter.
not to get too heady about it, but is that not the nature of design? Is to a certain point, like, I don't mean disrupt, but to say, okay, well, now what? Like, okay, that's an interesting experience, but now what? Okay, everybody had a lot of fun posting their sandwiches, but now what? And that's sort of the nature of social media, or at least it has been.
What's next?
Remember
What's
when you used
the
to just go
evolution?
on Facebook and post pictures of our lunches, dog? Those were the easy, cool days. Everything
Yeah,
was
and
so
just
fun in social media, and nobody used their real names, and it was just like
you
a
just
cool
post a
chill
funny
vibe.
picture on each other's wall. It's like,
Yes.
haha, it's Meatwad from Aqua Teen Hunger Force.
Oh
Lol.
man, remember when this was funny and not problematic? So good, so good. Hand Banana. They resurfaced that character recently. If you're not an Aqua Teen fan, you should become one soon. Okay, so I have just that. We asked, how can we reassure people? It is often helpful to provide reassurance. So I'm thinking we show you your reader, Michael G. He's a trained professional, someone who knows what he's doing.
Yep.
And he types a little message to you. Hi, username. I read your tweet and just wanted to let you know that I thought it was interesting and will certainly consider it in the future.
That sounds like classic Michael G right there.
Well, hold on. No, look at this one. Check this out. Check this shit out. This is good copywriting. Thanks, Mike. Right? Because
Nice.
he's Michael G, but we're identifying him as sort of like a cool adult. I can't right justify that because we have to think about things in Figma as P tags. Okay, there we go. Thanks, Mike. I think I'll do thanks, comma, Mike.
Okay.
Or we could do like, I can't edit this because you got to select it. Oh, okay. No, I like it.
Gotta have emoji and everything now. That's just how people talk.
Thanks, comma, at Mike G. And then we'll underline that because it's a link. I'm working between two different Figma windows and I can't keep track of who I am.
Oh God, my brain is going where I've been working in agencies too long. I'm just like, oh, and then we can have a thing where the user can like say thanks back to Mike, like Uber Eats, and it's like great
but you can
service.
tip
That's scope creeping though.
No. Well, we're just
Hire Mike
pasting
to-
things on a canvas. So
Maybe
like,
is this like Fiverr for therapy? It's just like you pay Mike like $1 to read a tweet, and it's just like, hey, hire me for 5 minutes or $5. No, that's
sorta. I mean, we're getting there. Is that not Twitter to a certain extent?
what's
A little bit.
Okay. So this is great. What else? What are we struggling with now that the AI can help with? Because this positive reinforcement has been helpful.
I'm kind of like running with this concept at the moment because it rules. We are kind of coming up to the end of the night. Did you have? Oh no, we were gonna do that and then I ruined it.
Tune in next week for a big surprise.
Tune in next week for Ian's hilarious Figma thing he was gonna do.
Yeah, will we actually talk about that, or will Nick make me a liar again?
Is Nick gonna just screw up my reputation? I'm gonna tweet about this in a little bit. Mike G's like, hi Ian, that's really unfortunate that you're having a tough time with your co-host. We're really sorry to hear. And you might tip him because he did write a really good response to your tweet. Okay, wait. We're essentially forcing people to respond to your tweet. And I would say a lot of people in the world might have some trouble getting people to respond to their tweets. Can I log in with Twitter? Can I just pay people to respond to my
now you can pay for it. It's like, you can pay to have someone listen to your complaint for $1
Okay.
or whatever it would cost. It should be cheap, right?
Well, here's what we do. So right now, this costs 1 Twitter credit, which is a microcurrency that you would buy. Here's what we got to do. It costs 12 Twitter credits, right? And they only come in packs of 10.
Yes, now you're thinking.
And that's how we get them, right? So it's 12 Twitter coins, and you can send Mike a tip. It doesn't matter how much. But when you buy them, you only get them in packs of 5. Like, do you remember how Xbox used to work back in the day when we were children?
Wii was the same. Yep.
And it was
games cost 600 points, and they only sold them in 500 increments. So you had to buy 1,000 to use 600.
It's sort of like Subway. Like when you're trying to leave, they tell you to open your mouth and then just shove one of those points cards in there. And they're like, "You're welcome,
sir. You forgot your points card." I was at Old Navy once.
I'm like, "I just want to play Castle Crashers," and they're like, "No."
I was at Old Navy once, and then I guess there's a self-report that I was at Old Navy. But I was buying that, and you know how they sometimes
cheap pants.
They were like, "Oh, how do you?" The way they did it was like psychologically kind of brilliant. They're like, "Oh, how did you spell your email address again?" And I'm like, "Oh, it's wait a sec, what?"
Oh,
as if like I told them, and they're like, just like, "Oh yeah, what was that again? How do you spell your email?"
Do you get paid in email addresses? What's wrong with you? Is this?
They're very aggressive about it.
That's.
I was like they were trying to trick me into thinking that I had told them already, and that now I was just going to spell it. Like, I bet they hired literal like psychologists to come up with that strategy. They call it neuromarketing.
They probably realized that email addresses are worth more money because they're like making more money on YouTube with their fucking lookbooks and stuff than they are like selling clothing to people.
Businesses collect email addresses like people that collect stuff collect it just because they want a lot of it. Well, what I'm saying is the more email addresses you have, the better you look to your boss. So that's why somebody's doing this. This is all happening just to make a bunch of people look good up a chain.
You're not wrong. The thing I never got about selling email addresses is my email address not out there? Like, if you shop with Google right now, you know everything about Old Nikki Beach. Like,
companies are way too afraid to. Most companies are afraid to spam you, so they want to ask you for it because they'll get banned from their email servers.
I don't know. We should cover this some night on the show. I'm sorry, I cut you off. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying everyone's worried. Like, we're worried about. Like, we worry about that to an extreme degree. Because if you screw up a little bit, you'll get entirely banned from MailChimp forever, and you'll never be allowed to send another email again in your entire life.
That, for sure. That reminds
me.
Like,
the penalties are severe. It's like it's worse than murdering somebody.
It's also...
in Canada.
There's a lot of, like, new email sales tactics, and it's a lot of, like, faking sincerity. And so you'll get a spam email from a software startup, and then a week later you get like, read the last message. Hey, username, I just wanted to make sure that you didn't miss out on this crazy deal. Like, they're sort of like faking a sales process. Anyway, the thing that I wanted to get here is if you do that too much, you're destroying brand sentiment. Like, I've had companies that I just received repeated emails from where I'm like, oh, would you just fuck off? If you had the thing that I would need in a moment or to create a deliverable, I'll just pay you for it. This is never going to help. Never. But I don't know. There's a spreadsheet that says it does, so I'm actually probably wrong. You know what I mean?
You're probably right that you are wrong. that you are right. I got one from MeUndies that was out of office, so it said "oh," and then like it was like one of those and it looked like a real email, like a regular. They got me. I opened it. I'm like, what is this? Did I get this by accident? Like I got the someone at MeUndies like out of office email by accident, like that was supposed to be internal.
Oh, bro.
That's what I thought. I don't, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's made to confuse you. I don't know if it's made to make everyone think that that's the exact scenario, but yeah, I clicked it and I'm like, oh,
Which,
this
hey,
is a trick.
like dark pattern UX.
It
Which
is.
like the
I
exact
think
same
I
fucking thing that gambling sites do to entice you to sign up for VLTs. How am I ever going to invest in your company? You're never going to go away. You're just going to
like that.
It
That you're right. That is a dark pattern. You are tricking people into opening your email. It's a trick. I mean, I guess I'm not telling you not to do it, but I'm telling you it is a trick.
I guess for the uninitiated, the UX dark patterns are like what a VLT site uses to trick you into throwing some free spins, or DraftKings tricks you into making a free bet with the understanding that they're locking you into a system that's going to ultimately take from you, and that's really gross. So doing that in a professional email is maybe the grossness.
Not cool. It's like it makes me think that they're not a successful company. Like I'm like, oh, you're desperate for money. You're not.
Yeah, you're not the bottom. You're fishing
successful.
For like people for signups and
not cool. Yeah, not. I mean, we obviously overthink it compared to the average person because we're in the industry. But
we are trying to get paychecks from these people. So
not cool. Anyway, you were saying it's about time to call it a night.
That's so funny that you say that. I was like, our natural cadence has just hit the part. It's a special part of every episode that you and I record where it goes from being hilarious into like the dark future. We're like, yeah, but the robots will steal my thoughts someday. Anyway, thank you so much for listening. But maybe that's just talking about tech. Maybe that's just working in tech. It's not going to end. It never ends on like a high note. Everyone just kind of goes, like,
well,
yeah, sure, oh fuck.
We're building that goddamn basilisk. We're building the thing that's going to destroy us.
We should reach out to Kyle Hill and be like, hey, do you have an hour to consult on this project that we're doing? Just, we don't have any. Look, subscribers, dude, it doesn't fucking matter. This is science. I do, however, really like the idea. So we're moving into. We're probably going to keep talking about this product, but New Twitter is a service where you tweet and you pay a nominal fee to have a professional tweet reader who is equipped to handle your shitty thoughts, write a small but meaningful bit of feedback to your thoughts. So you're paying for someone to listen to you. And I don't say that in a diminutive way. I just feel like we're maybe right in that this setup brings you more personal value than having to read your timeline.
Yeah, and I think if you want something done right, then you pay a little bit of money for it and you get it done. And you make sure it happens and you get that positive reinforcement that you need. What next? Who knows? It's the crazy world of design where anything can happen because there are no rules.
Well, I'll tell you that there's not one single rule for web or product design. Our advice, just get out there, baby. It's the Wild West. Make it up. Of course, don't ever do that. Fight for research budgets. That was the Hi There show for Tuesday, July 5th. Thanks so much for joining us. Toss your comments in the comments. Toss your comments, questions, and suggestions in the comments. You can also get at us at thehitherесhow@gmail.com. That's thehitherесhow@gmail.com. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Send us your shit. We would really love to. We're both professional designers. We would love to design your stuff live on air. Like literally, we're looking for a small business that is like, I need a website and a logo and all that kind of small business stuff. I don't care how small and local you are. Get at us because we'd love to do it live on air.
We'll make it for you, and You get to see how it's done.
No, how cool would that be? We'll just do like a full service design project. I said logo and a bunch of things. That's maybe too
Damn,
much.
you committed.
Yeah, damn, you
That's
committed. A logo,
cool.
maybe.
Come on, this is a good deal. Maybe if you're lucky, try us out.
Try us out.
All right, everyone, test your designs and test them often.
That's it.
And that's it.
Test your designs.
That's all
and
you
test
have to
them
do.
often. See you next time. Thanks so much.